Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with another Quatre project update. Alright, the main thing I wanted to say is I've been working on the mat a little bit today. What I did was I used my hot wire foam cutter to cut some insulation foam for the hills that you can see here, right? And I used 2 layers of insulation foam, just white insulation foam. Came in a pack of 6, 4 feet long, 1 foot wide. Looks a lot like this. You know, this is actually 2 pieces, and this is actually the height of the hills that I put on the Quatre mat. Okay, so it's basically like a puzzle piece put underneath there. Got one really long piece down the center there. Got a couple of like semicircular slopes in the 4 corners there. Got a long piece going this way. I cut out where the roads would go up the hill to make that transition a little bit easier for troops as they're going up those hills. That way they don't like fall over or whatever, you know. Because if you go up too steep, you know, the troops will just go boop, bloop, you know. But in the roads, they actually go up a lot. The slope's not very steep. All right, so that's what I've done there, and I basically had to put the foam out, make sure it was in the right place, cut it. That took a little while. Took a couple hours to do that. But I didn't paint them. I'm not going to flock them or anything like that because they're all going under the mat, right? Okay. And this is still based on the fact that we're going to be playing on a 4x8 table. All right, and I wanted to make sure the buildings that I was going to use for the game would fit. Like there's Quatre up there. This is Jimmy and Court. That's Celt.Gaul over there. Great. That's not actually one of the buildings that I'm going to be using. It is, but it's exactly that size, and it's that make and everything, but that's not the ground floor. That's the second floor, but I'm going to put a ground floor one on there. All right, and this is the bridge I'm going to use here. I still have to make a bridge for that. I have a ton of hedges and walls, and fences, hedges, walls, fences. But what I need to do is you get the ones down that I'm going to be using for the game, put them where they belong, put the trees where they belong, and that way I can see if I need any more, or to see if I need to make any more or anything like that. Okay, so now I also experimented. Let me show you this right here. I experimented with steel wool and flock to make a hedge. This isn't focused very well, but that's steel wool and flock and spray adhesive. So when I talk about steel wool, I'm just talking about, you know, a pack of steel wool that you go to scrub your dishes with or whatever. You just pull it out and stretch it out and glue it onto a popsicle stick. I've got a pack of these super jumbos, actually. What are they called? Super jumbo, yeah. 7.5 inches. Well, these are way too long. So what I did was I cut it down to 6 inches, you know, using a pair of scissors, just went chop, chop. And then I trimmed the edges so that they would be kind of hex shaped on each end. That way, if I ever decide to put them at a 90-degree angle, they would just fit together. Or if I put any other angle, it would fit together as well. So I'm experimenting with these. Those actually looks pretty good. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see if I'm gonna need to make any more of those or not. The steel wool, super cheap. Comes with like a dozen pads in here, and I haven't even used like 1/4 of one pad on that thing. So, okay. Next thing, you can probably see out there on the table, I've finished my Brunswicker light infantry and my Brunswicker line infantry. The line infantry are the ones with the flags, and the light infantry are the ones without the flags. And I'll give you a close-up of those at the end. Also, behind the camera, you can't see, I have 2 cuirassier units primed. I've started painting them, but not really. I mean, I've just barely, like the pants and the flesh and the couple of horses. But and then I've got a couple of chasseur units over there as well, because I got the command from Perry, so I was able to put a box of plastics and turn it into 2 units with 1 extra command stand each. So that's pretty cool. So that's going to be 2 chasseurs, 2 cuirassiers. I got half of my second order. This is not the full order. I do want to say this about Perry though. Perry Miniatures. It does come from England, so I expect it to take about 10 days or so to get here. So that's not a problem. I don't mind about the shipping time that it takes to get here. But when I did get my first shipment, I was so excited and everything. I went through it, and my Dutch-Belgian militia is not militia troops. It's militia command. So I got 4 packs up there of militia command when I was hoping for militia troops. So what does that mean? I can't put my militia together. So I told Perry Miniatures this, and one of the guys, I think his name's Alan, he said, no problem, they're going to correct that, and they're going to send me out my militia. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe they'll send me something in that package saying, here's a return shipping label or something like that. If they do, that's fine. But in the last 2 orders with them, the total came out to like 500 pounds. So maybe they're thinking that I'm a good customer and they're going to make me happy. And they are. If I get a bunch of militia troops instead of those militia commands, even if I get a shipping label to return everything, I'm super happy. So that's fine. But here's my second order. It says that it's comes in 2 boxes. Well, I only got 1 box for some reason. How does that happen? Like 1 box, they get separated in the mail somehow? But either way, I got 1 box, and I got a second box also coming. And this box has some Hanovers. This is my Hanovers and my Nassau guys in this box. So my Hanover militia and Hanover line command and all that stuff. So I'm super happy about that. The only thing that I need now to complete the miniature collection for this battle is probably a bunch of French, probably some British. I'm not sure. I think I've got all the British I need. Mike is supposed to be helping me out with the French, so we'll see if he gets some of that done. I am going to keep driving on and working on both sides. My focus is going to be the Allies and leaving the focus of the French on him. But it is now the 18th of February, and I haven't heard that he's finished any units. Not one. I mean, I've heard that he's put guys on popsicle sticks, and I've heard that he's washed them and primed them, and maybe he started painting, but he hasn't finished any units. And with me doing the math, for us to be done by the convention, we've got to get he's got to finish at least 2 French units a week. And it's been 2 weeks, almost 3. And I haven't heard. Now, I know he's waiting for certain pieces to come in, some command and stuff like that. And I get that. Because I was waiting for some command before I started on my Cuirassier. I'm so excited about doing them. So I understand that. But I'm just afraid that he might not get it done. And that's okay, because that's why I'm planning on doing all of it anyway. And if he's able to do just a handful of units by the time the convention starts, at least those will ease my struggle to do everything. Okay, I asked Adam to help me out with some painting, and he said yes, but there hasn't been any effort by me to contact him and tell him, come over here and let me give you some units and you can take them home and paint them. So that's kind of my fault. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Let me just go. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but in a previous video, but Warlord Games is supposed to have some product support there for us, as well as the representatives from the U.S. team of Warlord Games are supposed to be there, probably putting on a bolt action game. I think I did talk about that. Oh yeah. I bought some more cork so that I could build some more walls if I need to, because I use popsicle sticks, a strip of like 3/4 inch cork to make, and it looks just like stones. All I got to do is maybe prime it gray or brown and make stone walls. I'm gonna switch out a bunch of my trees that are not on washers. I'm gonna put them on washers. Another thing, forgot about saying this. I realized this early on, luckily, so as we go on, I don't have to go back and change a bunch of stuff. I do have to change my British guys, and I do have to change a couple of my French lights. But what I mean by that is they're mounted 4 figures on a 40 by 40 millimeter base, right? So you're going to see 4 figures on a 40 by 40 millimeter base. But when they go to skirmish, you're supposed to take one of these bases and split it up into 2 bases in front of you, and we'll talk about that in the tutorials as we continue. So this unit can have skirmishers in front of it. And so what I did was I took one of the bases from every unit that I'm going to make, and I'm going to split it into 2 half bases. So there's going to be a 20 by 40. There's going to be 2 of them making 40 by 40 with 2 figures each. So that'll be basically one stand that will break off to become skirmishers. And so going forward, we're doing that. I looked through my wood bases that I've had because I was running out of cavalry bases. I don't have any cavalry. Well, I got a handful of cavalry bases to do those cavalry on, but I was looking through my Litco bases, and I had a ton of 40 by 40s and 20 by 40s. So I think I'm fully set for the infantry. But the cavalry, I went ahead and put an order in for some Litco bases, even though I do have some extruded PVC there that I made my Hail Caesar bases out of for my cavalry. So I think I can cut some of this up and make some cavalry bases for black powder. All right, let's go. Let me give you the money shots on my Brunswickers. Alright guys, thanks for coming out and checking out this update about my black powder Quatre, and I'll catch you next time.